Happy Monday, Soul Tribe. How are you all doing out there in Never Never Land? It is Sarah Jane from Access Your True Nature, and I promise today is going to be a really, really quick one, but I just wanted to share a little humor if you're finding your Monday more madness than magic, and check in with you, because I was reminded today, I've had some amazing conversations with some awesome women doing amazing things in the world, and there's this constant theme to the story of, I know what I'm doing cognitively, I know what I'm doing is harming me, it's not getting me where I want to go, but I don't know how to stop the addiction. And it's incredible what comes out of these conversations, and it reminded me again of a story of the jumping mouse, which really is in shamanic mouse medicine, is very timid and quiet and resourceful, and what we can learn from mouse. Hi, nice to see you here, Colleen. Good to see you here. So jumping mouse basically then reminded me of Stuart Little, and if you haven't seen the movie, I highly recommend it, because it's that song, like, I think I can, I think I can, I know I can, I know I can. And the more that you do something, the more that you train, the more that you practice rewiring your brain, coming down out of that nervous system overwhelm, the easier it gets, because you're laying down new pathways and patterns to reach your targets. Inch by inch is a cinch, yard by yard is hard. So mouse medicine in the story of the jumping mouse really is that place of that he is petrified, and he's on this journey, and he knows that he wants to get to the top of the mountain. He wants to get to this place where he knows his transformation and his heart lies. But there's a lot of cracks and scary water and magic rivers and all sorts of things, and in order to get where he knows he has to go, he has to cross unknown terrain, and he doesn't know where he's going to be led, and he doesn't know what he's going to encounter along the way, but he keeps going. And at one stage he falls into this scary magic river, and he suddenly realizes that he can swim, and he swims up and he gets out and he shakes himself off and he keeps looking at where he wants to go. And the more that he starts to move into this uncharted territory, the more he actually realizes that he needs to take big, brave, bold creeps, not little ones, but big, brave ones. Hi Chantal, hi Mandy. So I'm kind of just sharing some crazy stuff that was coming up today, because we do this, don't we? We want to stay where it's safe, even though we know it's not going to give us what we want. And we creep, and we kind of stick our head out, and we shake off our tail feathers when we fall like a bird, and we put a step and we dip our toe in the water, but we don't quite put our whole foot in it. And sometimes we need a big push, and we need to fall into our own mystical, magical wonder of looking at that we are so much bigger than we actually think we are, and we are so much more resilient than we think that we are. Hi Tara, nice to see you. It's so fun to see you all here. And how this little story about the jumping mouse is that there's a time and a space for everything. Sometimes we need to take these small little steps, but at the end of the day, there's times when we're going to have to jump across the river. We're going to have to jump from one rock to the next rock, and we're going to get wet, and we're going to fall in. But every time we do, we're going to realize we have another capacity and another talent that we didn't know that we had, that's going to change our direct experience of how we're expressing ourselves, how we're engaging in our life, in our relationships. And what the value of this is really looking at what is it that you really want. I had an amazing conversation with a woman today who's in the beauty industry, and she has a beautiful salon. I don't know what you'd call it, but it's so easy to fall into languaging of our speciality, of how we actually create these pathways to get people out of their pain, what the solution is that we're showing up and offering in our gifts and our services, that we get caught in the languaging of our industry. And like we always do when we're living from what we think we want from our mind, it sounds like what we have to say. It's not the heart of why we got into the work in the first place. I hope this is making sense. Hello, Nicole Temple. But she was talking about, she's not in this business to just do treatments, and she's not, she doesn't want to just do massages. And 15, 20 minutes into this conversation, I heard her heart speak. When she finally got rid of all the reasons and justifications and all the learned languaging and all of the reasons why she got into beauty and therapy in the first place, she said that one magic word was that I'm here to touch people. And I said, yes, that is your why. That is your why you are here. Because people are touch starved, and people aren't getting the response and the love and the touch that possibly they're looking for in their love relationships, in their family relationships, in their communities. And that's what you stand for. So it's not true that you don't know what you're here to do. So many times the women that I speak to, they say they don't know what they want. They don't know why they do what they do. And this is that repeat cycle, because we're looking for what we think we want outside of ourselves instead of actually coming back and letting our heart speak. And her heart was saying, I'm doing this because I know that there's value in me showing up to touch people in places that they didn't even know existed through her therapies and her treatments. So people don't want to know what it is that you think you do for a living. They want to know what you live for. And when that living into your heart resonates with what their heart is looking for, that's how we make the ascent. That's how we, just like little jumping mouse, we make the jump from the learned languaging back to the nature of who we are, which is to get back in touch with what are the parts of me that are not being touched or are not being met. I wouldn't be in the business that I am in if I didn't know that I had that deep longing and I couldn't find it out there. So I had to come back to my heart and give me what I needed. Hi Ricky, nice to see you here. Am I making sense? Do you like my little jumping mouse story? Sometimes we need to jump and we need somebody to jump onto. I mean, if you've ever seen a little rat swimming along, you see the little mama rat, all her little babies jump on her back and they go along. Same with little ducks and ducklings. Sometimes we need to be able to know that the lifeline is there. All you have to do is jump and I'll meet you there. So where are you not jumping into your life? And this is the one thing that I see over and over again, and maybe you can relate to this either in your own practice of what you're creating and what you're inviting people into, or maybe in your own life, where the one place that people fail is that they're actually not committed. They're not committed enough. They don't trust in their own bravery, in their own courage to actually take that leap. If you haven't read Gay Hendricks' book, I think it's called The Big Leap. I highly recommend it. I'm an avid reader, and that's on my leap list, is to make sure that I read 4 or 5 books every month, minimum. So, this is where it's like if there's 4 levels of commitment. So just like that little mouse, or just like Stuart Little. Do you remember in the movie he entered that little boat race? And there were waves, and there was, the heroine's journey of Stuart Little is like we're cheering for him to win, because we want somebody to cheer for ourselves in our own hero's journey, in our own heroine's journey. And there's waves that knock him off his boat, and he gets drenched, and all sorts of things and he encounters along this race that he's in, and he doesn't think he can do it, and he doesn't think he can do it, and everything that knocks him, every time an obstacle occurs, the more he counterbalances it, the more the fulcrum, it's that fulcrum effect. The more that he pivots, the more that he shifts 1 degree at a time, the more he starts to believe that he can do it. And of course he does it, because it's his heroine's journey. So look at where you are maybe needing some alignment, or where you're maybe out of where you're looking for some support in these 4 levels of commitment, so that you don't keep sabotaging your boat, so you don't keep capsizing your boat, or falling off the back of the mama mouse that's jumping and leaping and taking you with you. And if you don't get these in this order, that's something that you perhaps are going to want to lean into and deepen into, is that you have a choice. You can either creep along and be afraid of everything, or you can take that big leap and know that you're totally supported, and there's sometimes going to be people and things that are going to push you when you think you're not ready. Because sometimes we need the big leap. Sometimes we need someone to push us into it. And sometimes we need people to tell us to slow down, and things will slow us down, like me falling off a horse and cracking my ribs. I needed that lesson to show me that I don't need to, I need to just come inward, and I need to go deep and align and get back in congruence with my own North Star and my own heart's longing, and start practicing radical self-care. So the first commitment that you need is that mental commitment. So whether you're looking at finding clients that are aligned to working with you, or if you're in wherever you are in your life, these 4 commitments, they have to work synchronistically and parallel to each other, because there's always one that you're going to need to work on and deepen into more than another. Sometimes the mental part is there. So the first thing is if you're wondering why business isn't showing up, or why the love of your life isn't showing up, it may have something to do with you creeping along, not fully committed on the mental aspect of believing, right? And this is where we need to ask ourselves questions. We need to ask our clients questions. And it has to be this back and forth dance where there's flow and meaning in how you're showing up in that heart space. So if the mental commitment isn't there, nothing can happen, right? This is the mindset. It's the inner game of looking at where do I need support in changing the way that I'm showing up. The second level of commitment, and obviously I go deeper into this in my work. Hello, Teresa. Hi, Christina. Hi, Maniba. Hi, Tracy Fisher. So if you want to know how to go deeper into these 4 levels of commitment, then call me and let's set up a time to talk, and let's get you back on your ship. Let's get you back into your big leap, and you jumping for joy because you're so fulfilled and aligned and congruent with your message, your vision, your mission, and your purpose. But the mindset is the big part. So what questions do you need to ask to get you back in the flow? What are you missing that you think that you're going to lose something if you don't get this sorted? Because your ego is always going to look at what does it have to lose. It never looks at how can I gain. Okay, and that's why it's so important to do this at the level of the mind, to employ the mind to work for your heart. Okay, because if your heart's not in it, we know we're just not into it, we're not committed. So what mental capacities are you not using, or you're choosing not to use intentionally or subconsciously, because this is coming from deep root trauma that perhaps hasn't been resolved, that is giving that thing more meaning than your heart and what your heart's calling you into? The second one is the physical commitment. So if the mental one doesn't work, you can't move into physical commitment in your life. And this is where you're showing up. You're showing up on time. If you are not keeping appointments with yourself, how can you expect anybody else to keep appointments with you? So where are you always late for your own party? Where are you actually missing your boat? Right? The boat's left the dock already and you're running behind it like that little mouse, and then you have to take this huge massive jump and you land in the water because you haven't been in listening to your heart, and you're not aligned, and you're not tuned in to your body, which is saying follow your natural impulses, listen to your gut, and look at what is the solution. If you're in we're all in the service industry. We're here to serve others. We're here to contribute to better. We all want better. So look at what are the solutions that you're offering, and how is that impacting other people's lives? How is not showing up on time impacting the way that people can receive you? How is it impacting your happiness? How is it impacting your money flows? So that is the second level of commitment. If you know that you can check off that your physical commitment and also the radical self-care. So if you're not taking care of your body, how can you be strong and vital enough to take care of your body of work and your body of love in the world of relationships and family and study and education and training? The third level of commitment is that emotional commitment. And as I said, all of these need to work in harmony with each other. If it's not congruent, if you don't get the mental piece right, you can't implement from a physical. So where are you not implementing? Because you've got the wrong mindset. You need to change your attitude. You need to look in the blind spots. You need to do some internal work. Hi Heather. Hi Kelly. Nice to see you all here. So, it seems to be around metaphors of jumping mice and toilet seats. I don't know how that came into it, other than my toilet seat broke today and I was late coming to you because the toilet seat broke, and I think it comes back to the same thing, and maybe this is part of the emotional part, is that if you think that you can only afford a plastic toilet seat, who cares what you sit on? Well, I care, actually, because have you ever sat on one of those hideous, like, skinny plastic toilet seats, and it pinches your skin in between the seat and the edge of the toilet, and the quality of what you're releasing changes if you're uncomfortable sitting on your toilet. We actually spend a lot of time holding onto our shit, but also when we do actually want to let go of it, you don't want to be in the discomfort of sitting on an inferior plastic toilet seat. So I spent a long time today actually looking for a toilet seat that was actually going to fit into my requirements of having a good quality shit, excuse my my language, but the truth of it is, it's just like, these are the small shifts on the mental and the emotional and the physical where we actually hold ourselves back, where we're creeping along, and we're not ready for the big up levels, and every new up level comes with a new set of challenges. So why not go for the best toilet seat out there that's going to support you in the comfort of releasing all the crap you no longer need in your life and from your body, then actually not be able to actually sit and have a great bowel movement in the metaphorical sense and the physical, because you're uncomfortable sitting on the toilet. So it's just like, why not get the best seat out there and know that it's going to repay you in the amount of crap that you offload every time you have a bowel movement, that you won't have to be jumping from one little place to the other, creeping along trying to do an upgrade. Is this fun for you or not? It was funny when I was thinking about it 2 minutes ago, but maybe it's lost it already. It's always funny. It's never the joke, but it's always kind of like the personal ha-ha that I had about toilet seats and jumping mice. And then I had visions of, sorry, someone's trying to phone me, of Stuart Little literally jumping, like rock jumping from one turd to the other, floating around in the sewers trying to get to his mountain of gold, the gold on top of his ascent, rather than sitting underneath his shit pile in the sewers. So that emotional level is super important. It's just like, if you are not clear on what your solutions are that you're offering, it's going to impact all the other areas of your life. If you don't know that you're in the business of joy, because like this woman today, she felt like she was so out of touch with why she got into her business in the first place, because she doesn't want to do treatments and massages. She wants to touch people's lives through the work that she does. So it's really like looking at it as, if you don't emotionally resonate with your message and what your sign on the door is, how can you expect anyone to move to step over the threshold to be helped by you? Once they're over the threshold, then you can get to tell them what your services are and how you can help them and what's going to be a best fit for them. But you can't do that if you're still hanging back and you're creeping along and you're too afraid to knock on your own door, see what's behind the door or on top of your mountain, like the jumping mouse. If you don't go deep down and actually get in touch with, what are you doing? Why are you who you are? What is your what? You need to know your own why, and then you need to acknowledge what's there. So it's that whole thing of, if you're not taking action, if you're not showing up with your own appointments for yourself, if you don't have the mindset to up your own inner game, you're going to see that reflected back to you in every single extrapolation and variation and version of the crap that you keep recreating from. Didn't Einstein say that? You can't change a problem from the same position that you created it. You just can't, because you're still floating in the sewers. You're still kind of, ducking and diving in that survival thing of, dodging the the turds that are floating by you. You know, you have to raise up, and sometimes we need people to help us to get up. You need a good quality toilet seat. So the fourth one quickly, because I know it's time for me to go. My daughter will be finished her swimming lesson by now. But you know, that fourth commitment, that you can only go into that fourth commitment, hi Elena, if you actually get the others. I'm so glad you find this funny, Darlene. I think it's pretty funny. You know, jumping mice on floating turds can be pretty helpful if you're going to use that as a life raft, but it's a temporary situation, because like all good things, it needs to it needs to go back into the ground for recycling. So if you don't have the mental, the physical, and the emotional components and commitments really down in your stake, in your foundation, in your big why and your big what, that financial commitment will never work. So if you're wondering, why are my clients not showing up? Why do people always pay me late? Why am I having to write off debt, or whatever it is for you, whatever's going on? If money's hard for you right now, you may want to look at the first 3 commitments and see which one of them really needs you to get some intentional commitment going daily, to get you to this place to actually give yourself responsibility to do the work. If there isn't the financial commitment there, you're not going to be responsible for doing your own work. You have to have the financial part in there, and you can't if your mental game or your emotional game or your physical game is off. So the financial aspect of it is really there to say, holy crap, I am so responsible to make sure that this investment works for me, that I am going to have to work my freaking ass off, if that's what it means, what it takes, for however long it takes, so that I can get my money that I've invested in this person or this program or whatever it is in your life to make your money grow for you. You then start to see that you're investing in yourself is the most valuable gift that you can give to yourself and to the world. But you have to be responsible to do the work. No one else can do that. You don't have to convince your clients about how brilliant you are, because it's got nothing to do with you. It's got to do with you having a solution that you're offering that's going to impact not only their money flows or their health or whatever your industry is. It's going to influence from this place of the direct experience that they're having with you, the way that they start showing up and expressing themselves in the world, and how they're engaging with themselves from a place of an expanded possibility of, oh my God, there's so much opportunity out here, and all I have to do is invest in myself, bet on myself as my own horse, and go there and be responsible for the work. I've started to realize giving away free resources, giving people tools, it's like taking a horse to water. You can't make it drink. You can't make it drink. The person that's coming to you, for whatever reason they're coming to you, they are the ones that have to make all 4 of these commitments to themselves, not to you, to themselves. And then you can meet them where they are. But you can't do life, you can't have the results and the level of success and love and fulfillment happening for you if you are not committed to yourself and what you can give, so that you grow and other people gain. It's a win-win all the way. So those are my 4 commitments for today. My daughter's saying, where am I? Because I'm sitting on the roof. Look at this beautiful sunset out there today. I'm singing from the top of the roof, and I'm going to leave you with that. So if you want to know more about how to be a jumping mouse and either creep or leap, the choice is yours. The power of choice is yours. You get to choose. And when you're ready, I would be super excited to support you in your next big leap, and that doesn't mean that we leap all at once either. You know, it's inch by inch is a cinch. We're not going for, you can't climb to the top of the mountain in one big leap. You need a plan and you need a map, and that's what we'll work out together. So let me know how this resonates with you, and just know that It's time to do a Stuart Little. It's time to take a leap, like that little jumping mouse, and also know how resourceful mouse is. So now I'm just talking shit as I walk to the car, so I'm going to leave you with that. Happy Monday. Let me know what's going on in your world. Celebrate your magic, your miracles, or your madness, because it was a pretty mad day today. I had a beautiful, big, full day. Lots of experiences, lots of engagement, and lots of great expression, including sharing my toilet seat story and my little mouse that took a big jump. So that's it. Go have a great rest of the day wherever you are, and I'll speak to you soon. Okay, bye. Mwah.